Okay, I'm on page 125 in your book. It says, in this part of the lesson, you will feather your selection. Don't worry if your selection is less than perfect. Feathering is the term that Photoshop uses to describe a vignette or fading of an image around the edges of a selection. There are many ways to feather selection. In this section, you will learn the most visual method, which is the refine edge feature. So I need to get my snowboarder selection reloaded. So I'm going to go to select, load selection. Oh, there it is. It's loaded. Okay, so with the lasso tool still selected, and it is, click refine edge in the options bar right here. The refine edge dialog box appears. Use the feather slider to change the feather amount to about 5 pixels. I'm just going to type it in. By using the refine edge feature, you see a preview of the vignette immediately right here. From the output to drop-down menu, select layer mask and click OK. Output to layer mask, and then click OK. The image is faded and a mask is added to the layer in the layers panel. Right here's the mask. Layer masks essentially cover any area that was not selected at the time the mask was created. Your selection is now in a state that can be reactivated, turned off, and turned on at any time. Press and hold the Shift key and click the layer mask in the layers panel to turn off the mask. Press and hold the Shift key and click the layer mask again to turn it on. So right here's a layer mask. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click. Turns it off, turns it on. Okay. We're going to go File, Save, and File, Close. So I'm just going to go File, Close, and yes to save. All right, page 127, using the Quick Selection tool. The Quick Selection tool allows you to paint your selection on an image. As you drag, the selection expands outward and finds redefined edges of contrast to use as boundaries for the selection. In this part of the lesson, you'll reopen the original 0503 image to make a selection using the Quick Selection tool. So I'm going to go to Bridge again, and I'm looking for 0503, the original. Oh, looks like I may have messed up. I didn't save this as the right name. Anyway, I'll come over here and turn off the layer mask. So I'm going to hold down Shift and click. Okay. And I'm going to rename this File, Save As it says there in number 2 on page 127, 0503 underscore work, V2. And okay. Choose View Fit on Screen so we can see the whole image. Choose the Quick Selection tool in the Tools panel. Keep in mind that this could be hidden under the Magic Wand. Okay, so here is the Magic Wand. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to choose Quick Selection tool. Position your cursor over the snowboarder. You see a circle with a small crosshair in the center. Okay, from the circle and crosshair will not appear if you have the caps lock key depressed, so make sure that's turned off. From the options bar, click the brush drop-down menu and either slide the size slider to the right to a value of 10 or enter 10. Brush drop-down menu. Right here is the brush drop-down menu. Oh, right here. We want the size to be 10. Okay. Made it smaller there. Now click and drag to paint over the snow border. You can release the mouse and continue painting the snow border to see that you are adding to the selection. Adding to the selection is the default action that you can expect, as you can see by the selected option, which I clicked off of it before accidentally. This is adding to because it's got the plus. So I'm going to click and drag on the snow border. Okay. If you accidentally grab a part of the image that you do not want to select, press and hold the Option key, or I'm sorry, the Alt key, and paint over the region to deselect it. Adjust the quick selection brush size by pressing the left bracket repeatedly to reduce the size, or the right bracket to increase it, or you can just click Appear. Okay. Save your selection by choosing Select Save Selection, and we're going to name it Border. Select Save Selection, Border, and then OK. Leaving the other settings at their defaults. Now you have a saved selection. Keep in mind that if you deselect your selection or close the saved file, you can reload the selection by clicking Select, Load Selection. So we're going to close this file. So that quick selection tool is pretty useful. So I'm going to go Close and Save, Yes. And now I'm at the bottom of page 128, making difficult selections with the Refine Edge feature. Using the Refine Edge feature, you can also improve your selection of difficult items, such as fur and hair. There is still no magic pill for making a perfect selection, but the Refine Edge improvements certainly help. Choose File, Browse, and Bridge, and we're going to go find 0504. Right here, 0504. And we're going to open that. And we're going to save it as, let's see, File, Save As, and 0504 underscore work. Okay. Click and hold the quick selection tool and then select the hidden magic wand. Right here's magic wand. Click the white area off to the right of the woman. The white area becomes selected. Okay, see how it's all selected around there. Choose Select Inverse Selection. And now everything except the white is selected. Can you see that? The woman is now selected. Click on the Refine Edge option in the options bar. Okay, to get a better view of the hair selection, choose the black and white option from the View drop-down menu. Right here, black and white. Using the radius slider in the edge detection section, change the radius value to 100. This may seem like a rather drastic radius selection, but you can see that this makes the masked the hair fairly well, and it did make it a lot better here. The issue you now have is that by increasing the radius to get a better selection of hair, you also degraded the edge selection of the shoulder beneath the hair. You will use the Erase Refinements tool to help you clean up your selection. So click and hold down the Refine Status Radius tool and use the Erase Refinements tool. Right here, click and hold this down. Erase Refinements tool. Position your cursor over an area in your image where you would like to clean up the selection. Note that you can increase or decrease the your brush size by pressing the left bracket or the right bracket. Start painting over the areas that you do not want the refinements to take place. In this example, this is in the shoulder area at the edge of the suit. Okay, so I'm going to move this box over. Mine is actually pretty good, but let's try this. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see that. It gets rid of all of that. Because otherwise it would make her shoulder look transparent, like there was holes in her shoulder, like the holes up here by her hair. Okay, select the layer mask from the output drop-down menu and press OK. Okay. Since you have applied a layer mask, your results are shown as a transparent selection. Save and close the file. Close. Yes. Okay, using the quick mask, this is at the bottom of page 130. Earlier in this lesson, you learned how to add to and subtract from selections. Another method for modifying selections is to use quick mask. Rather than using selection tools to modify the selection, you'll use the paintbrush tool in the quick mask mode and paint to modify your selection. This is a type of art therapy for those who are selection tool challenged. Note that when creating a mask, by default, it is the inverse of a selection. It covers the unselected parts of the image and protects it from any editing or manipulations you apply. In this lesson, you will create a mask using the quick mask feature, save the selection, and then copy and paste the selection into another image. To see the file in its completed stage, look at, we're not going to open it, just take a look at number 1 at the top of page 131. We're going to put this goose in the picture with the penguins. So let's go to browse and we're going to open 0505. Here's the original file. And we're going to save it as 0505 work, file, save as, _ work. Okay. Select the lasso tool right here and make a quick and rough selection around the duck. Make sure that as you click and drag, creating a selection that encompasses the duck, the lasso tool finishes where it started, creating a closed selection around the duck. Don't worry about the accuracy of the selection as you're going to paint the rest of the selection using Photoshop's painting tools in the quick mask mode. So I'm going to do this. I'm clicking and dragging. Just make sure the duck's in it all the way around. There we go. And you end where you started. So there's my selection. Click the Quick Mask Mode button at the bottom of the Tools panel. Okay, and that's right here. Let's see if there's more to this one here. Nope. Oh, right here is Quick Mask. I'm going to click off of this. Right here it is. Quick Mask. Okay. Now you will use the painting tools to refine the selection. Select the brush tool in the tools panel. Not that one. Brush tool right here. Click the default foreground and background colors button at the bottom of the tools panel. Or press D on your keyboard to return to the default foreground and background colors of black and white. I'm just going to hit D, and it doesn't change because there it is right there. Painting with black adds to the mask, essentially blocking that area of the image from any changes. Painting with white subtracts from the mask, essentially making that area of the image active and ready for changes. Keep in mind that as a default, the Quick Mask appears as red when you paint with black and clear when you paint with white. The red indicates a masked area. These tips will help you to make more accurate corrections on the mask. So there's some shortcut keys there. So choose View Actual Pixels. To view the image at 100%, zoom in further if necessary. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm at 100. I'm going to make it 200. There we go. With black as your foreground color, right here it shows you there's black and it's your foreground color. Start painting close to the duck where there might be some green grass that you inadvertently included in your selection. Keep in mind that the areas where the red mask appears will not be part of the selection. So you just start painting here. See how it's turning red? If you accidentally paint into or select some of the duck, press the X on your keyboard to swap the foreground and background colors, putting white in the foreground. Start painting with white and you will see that this eliminates the mask, thereby making the regions that you paint with white part of the selection. Continue painting until the selection is more accurate. So I'm going to have you guys just keep doing this until, we want this to be solid red. With the opacity at 20%, let's change this. Let's make it maybe smaller at 3. Let's see if that changes how it, no, we want it to be bigger. So I'm going to make it, there we go, 87% there. Maybe we even want to change it to 100%. So we're just trying to add all of this. And again, if you accidentally get into the duck like this, right here, swap these out. And actually, if you click the arrows, it'll allow you to select them out. And then you can do this to erase it, okay? And then to add to it, swap them out again. When it's black, you are able to add to your selection. So you guys should pause the video here and do your apps. Try to make it a good selection. This is not a good selection that I have here, but I'm going to move on with the video. So when you are middle of page 133, when you are satisfied with your work, view the selection by clicking the Quick Mask Mode button at the bottom of the Tools panel or hit Q on your keyboard. Again, that button is right here. This exit the Quick Mask mode and displays the selection you have created as a marquee. You can press Q or the Quick Mask mode button to refine the selection even further if necessary. Keep the selection active for this next section. So we're going to save this next selection. So you spent quite some time editing the selection in the last part of the lesson. You would be ashamed to lose that selection by closing your file or clicking somewhere else on your image. As mentioned earlier in this lesson, you should save your selections. In this part of the lesson, you'll save a selection so you can close the file, reopen it, and retrieve the duck selection whenever you want it. So we're going to go save or select save selection, and we're going to type in duck and hit OK. Okay, page 134. If you cannot see the channels panel, choose Windows Channel. Right here's the channels panel. To see what you have, to see that you have a saved channel or selection named duck, right there. Selections that are saved with an image are known as alpha channels. Channels are not supported by all file formats. Only Photoshop, PFD, Pixar, TIFF, PSD, and RAW formats save alpha channels with the file. Choose Select to Deselect or Control D. That will unselect it. Once a selection is saved, you can easily reselect it by choosing Select Load Selection or Control clicking on the channel in the Channels panel, and the duck selection is reactivated. Select Load Selection, duck. Okay, there we are. You could save multiple selections in an image, but take note, your file size will increase each time you have a new selection. When multiple selections are saved, you will need to click on the channel drop-down menu and choose which saved selection to display. So we're going to go to top of page 135, copying and pasting a selection. There are many different methods for moving a selection from one image to another. In this lesson, you will simply copy a selection and paste it into another image. So I've got my selection loaded, edit, copy, or Control C. To browse and bridge, and we're going to go open 0506 right here, and we're going to save it as work. Underscore work. With the image of the penguins in front, go to edit, paste, or Control V. The duck selection is placed in the penguin image on its own independent layer, making it easy to reposition. Use the Move tool and reposition the duck so it is flush with the bottom of the image. File save and file close. I'm going to close and save.